Welcome to episode 3 in the Search for the Best Gumball episode series, where I cover both user-voted and hand-picked episodes that may be considered the best of what Gumball has to offer. If you haven't seen the first two, The Best and The Job, I'd recommend checking them out after this in the playlist below. Also plug in my Reddit. As always, putting this episode in a Reddit, can't wait to see your guys' responses. So, this is a rather bizarre episode. After Gumball learns that Tobias slaps the butt of everyone that he greets and Gumball is the only person to whom he hasn't done it, Gumball becomes obsessed with getting Tobias to slap him in the butt. Something like that has the grounds to be ridiculous and shouldn't even be considered in the ballpark of being in the best episode conversation, until you watch it.
No,
I don't think USBing will replace a high five.
maybe it's the name. What about digit docking?
I don't think the name's the problem. Although, admittedly, that name would be a problem.
We've all been there before, wanting to have some cool personalized greeting, secret handshake, or something like that. You do it at most like 4 times before you realize that part of your memory is better served for other reasons, like where you dropped your dongle, or the name of the top part of your shoelace. It's a fun thing, but the best ones usually come natural, or at least with some mutual help, and Darwin really doesn't seem up for it. Despite the lack of assurance, which historically has never stopped Gumball before, Darwin brings up that whatever Gumball does would be 100 times better than what Tobias is doing.
What does he do?
Starts kind of normal with the high five, but then right after he gives you a slap on the butt.
That's outrageous! Exactly the sort of unpleasant macho behavior that my new greeting will eliminate. The nerve!
And what really makes this episode go into the talks of one of the best is the execution. The concept doesn't make it sound promising, and even for the talented team that works on Gumball, it's incredibly easy to not make this work and seem more creepy or grabbing the low-hanging fruit. This only really works because of a few things. The first and quite possibly most important aspect, it never lets you forget that this is not normal. A normal person would not enjoy this, especially in this way, in public, after you've slapped everyone else on the butt. Darwin playing the straight man does represent a large part of the audience that would cringe or be offended or even fight on the grounds of that slap. It never tries to walk the line of, is this weird? Is this not weird? No, it's weird. And that's why this happens.
Give me some fin! Hey, man.
What? He did it to everyone except you.
Yeah, I knew I would, take that, you know?
You're lucky. You're literally the only guy he doesn't do it to.
Yeah, I know, I'm lucky. Yeah.
The second reason this works is because of its amazing grasp of all 3 characters. Darwin, the realist and realist with an E of the 3, being the one who doesn't understand why Tobias is doing this, a bit too shy to confront Tobias about it, but definitely understands that it's weird and pushes the boundaries a lot. Then you have Tobias completely over his head, thinking that this is a cool greeting that everyone wouldn't mind and would probably even enjoy. He's been shown to really like being the alpha male in the room. He acts very arrogant and above everyone, and I'm sure no one calling him out on this feeds into his ego. Then you have Gumball, who earlier was just saying that his greeting would make Tobias's greeting look very foolish and states that he wouldn't like it. But now Tobias didn't do it to him, now he's offended. You didn't even give him a chance to reject it. It's the classic, you didn't fire me, I quit, or you can't break up with me because I'm breaking up with you scenario, because the other person already said no. Certain personality types, like Gumball, now want it, just for the opportunity to reject it. Even if by not reacting, they'd get what they wanted ultimately anyway. It's an ego thing for both Tobias and Gumball, stretched to the extreme and wacky through all of the different antics of how he's going to get this slap. It portrays ego in a funny way, by making both characters easy to laugh at.
Masami winked at me this morning. She went like this.
Technically, if you close both eyes, it's blinking.
Nah, double the winks, double the trouble, dude.
Well, double of 0 is 0, so feel free to double the trouble all you like. So the last thing that really makes this work for me is that Tobias's reactions are golden. You have this arrogant, pseudo-macho sort of guy who's been keeping up this persona of being calm, cool, collected, and then there's Gumball, who isn't going to ask for the slap, but he will make direct hints that he wants it. So they're at this stalemate, because Tobias isn't gonna do it, and Gumball isn't going to ask for for it, so they never directly acknowledge what's going on here. And with that cycle, Gumball just gets more and more desperate, and Tobias's reactions just get more and more funny. It's honestly brilliant, if not for what it's all about.
See you later.
Aren't you forgetting something?
No, I don't think so. See ya.
Oh, come on!
Once you really get down to it, the episode is just that. It's a freeform episode. The story is incredibly simple. There's not a lot of nuance to it, and it just leaves a lot of room for the jokes, which you see are pretty good. It's really hard to talk about it much further than this. They play around with the animation quite a bit, which adds to the charm of this episode when Tobias flattens down to take the advantage of his two-dimensional makeup. Obviously, Gumball would go out of his way to cause attention to get Tobias to do this simple thing, even going as far as the fake choking, which for obvious reasons doesn't work. And through all of this, you realize just the type of person that Gumball is. Because he doesn't have that part of him that stops when he gets really invested, he may alter the path, shift the plan, but if he has 1,000 plans, he will try all 1,000. Even if 999 of them get him brutally hurt or embarrassed, that's just the type of character that Gumball is. They balance out his stubborn nature by making him be at the butt of the joke. Alright boys, we did it. Pack it up. Wait, that's not clapping.
Dude, what are you doing?
I don't know anymore.
In typical Gumball fashion, he both personalizes this and makes it irrational at this point, dedicating an entire song to this. It's not that the song is bad, but that there's only so much mileage that you can get out of this. The singing of Jacob Hopkins, the voice actor of Gumball at this time, it's really good. The instrumentation isn't bad, it's a song about getting slapped on the butt. It's ridiculous. And like Darwin says, it didn't really warrant a song, but I can certainly believe that Gumball would think that it would, because it's not about the slap, it's about the exclusion. That's kind of the beauty here. So Gumball comes up with a plan, trick Tobias into thinking that he slaps Darwin's butt, and make the old switcheroo. I cannot believe they found a way to make this funny.
Hey, what's happening, Darwizzle?
The music, the animation, the reactions, the fact that Gumball has this exact same pose each and every time, even the fact that he was whistling the melody to the song that Gumball was singing earlier, everything about this shows that the team is very talented at what they do. To be given such a ludicrous concept and turn it into not only something that works, but something that is rewatchable and has moments within it that are just great, if not better, than some of the funniest moments shared around, is more of a testament to the team and their ability, plus the strong foundation of these characters to be able to work with such a concept. However, it gets better.
No! Now we'll never slap me on the— oh wait, it still counts if he's unconscious, right? Yeah, it counts. And I just realized this is wrong on so many levels.
Yes, that is. Now, despite all of this, Darwin really does try to talk Gumball out of taking this so seriously, and while it's a valiant effort, when Gumball is set on a mission, no matter how ridiculous it is, provided he isn't lazy, he will set out to do it. Unfortunately, Darwin's attempts to try to rationalize the situation only added fuel to the fire, and gave Gumball terrible ideas. You see, Darwin tries to convince Gumball that maybe Tobias and Gumball aren't that close for Tobias to consider doing that to him. Now, any rational person would understand and pull back at this very moment, understanding that it's not going to happen because of where they stand. However, all this does is push the goal to becoming friends with Tobias, which if you're already hell-bent on getting this slap, and you're trying to do all of this within a school day, it's not only going to go bad, but really bad.
Have some of my dessert. Lap it up good.
Look, buddy, if you don't back off, I'm gonna have to get physical.
Yes! Use your anger and fall into my trap, you worm!
I haven't touched you and I already feel like I need to wash this hand.
Or we can just take it slow!
This all reads like a fan fiction, and I'm terrified at that aspect. It didn't help that in the scene before this, Sarah is staring directly at the both of them. I wonder if this was a story that she would have written had she had that special Cartoon Network book she might have enacted. However, as tensions ramp up, Gumball does the extreme. He brings Tobias to the roof of the school on a Wednesday, and by Wednesday I mean Friday, in which he says that he's been up there for 2 days. Now, I'm not saying that Gumball would be dead, or that Nicole would have done something about this, or even that Darwin would have found him, or Gumball would have shouted from the rooftops a day in, or Rocky wouldn't have stumbled in there for something. But you know, maybe 2 days is a bit of a unbelievable stretch. I don't believe this man could survive 2 hours without supervision. Anywho, they eat each other, a sentence I didn't think I'd be saying, writing, seeing edited, and all I'm thinking is, I have to see how they pitched, wrote, and storyboarded this entire episode. I need to see all of the ideas thrown around. More importantly, I need to see the ideas where they went, you know what, that's going a little bit too far. I see what you're doing, but that might be a little bit too much. I am that invested in what this would have been like. So they decide to sing another song, Stay Alive, a somewhat similar song to Mulan's I'll Make a Man Out of You, and a reference to the disco smash hit Staying Alive, Bee Gees. And it's there where we finally get the talk that was needed.
We're never gonna survive this. But before it's over, at least tell me, why?
All I wanted was one of your little butt slaps.
But I thought you would hate that.
I just wanted to be included and it got out of hand.
Despite such a wacky premise, this is one of the better Tobias and Gumball episodes, and I do like when they're on the same level. It's radically different than, let's say, the third, where Tobias wasn't Tobias yet, he was just like the third friend. Here we actually have an established character, he has a personality, he has a way that he reacts, and it created this dynamic where Gumball essentially meets someone who isn't above doing some of the things that he does. Anywho, they have their talk, and it's here where they reach a common understanding, even with near death approaching. That doesn't humble Gumball. Sparring his death only gives him another shot to get the slap that he wants, and of course, what happens, happens.
Hey, G-Ball, how you doing?
How dare you! You've got some nerve, young man! There are rules in this society, and casually slapping people's butt is not one of them! Someone has to take it.
That was the slap. I don't want to dock off too many points for the premise because it does feel weird considering this to be one of the best, but at the same time, it's great, it's funny, it's wacky, it has a lot of memorable moments. The dynamic was fun, no one seemed to be annoying or overstay their welcome. Gumball was fine, Tobias was great. You know what? Yeah, this might be in the top 10 conversation, maybe. Anywho, make sure to drop how you feel in the comments down below or in the subreddit. I'll be getting around to reading it. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Alpha out.